Welcome, everybody, to ARG's Up Your Game educational series. We have a great topic and speaker this evening. I want to provide a little context about our series and what we hope to accomplish with these events. ARG supports the technology operations of over 2,000 companies here in the Washington, D.C. area, about 11% of the total businesses. We run over 200 meetings per month with technology leaders from those organizations. We also have deep relationships with over 60 technology providers and the ability to reach out to many more. In fact, it's not unusual for ARG to have 6 to 8 technology companies in our office on any given day. All this interaction with leaders, such as yourselves, and the service providers has created a unique sharing opportunity for ARG. We have identified many common themes and creative solutions through these interactions. Themes and solutions across disciplines and service providers. This educational series is our way of sharing some of these hot topics, learnings, and solutions. We hope you'll take these topics back to your organization in consultation with ARG and consider how together we can take your organization to a new level.
So for those of you that may not be familiar with PGI, let me just take a few moments here to talk with you about our experience and our global presence. So PGI is the premier or the largest pure play conferencing provider globally. It's the only business that we're in. It's been our legacy for over 25 years. We're an innovator in the space. In fact, the whole idea of automated audio conferencing, where you have a dedicated 800 number and a host code and a guest passcode, and you're able to host a large group of people on the phone, that is an innovation that PGI is responsible for going way back. And as you'll see, we continue to do that today. We do have a global presence with local phone numbers in over 140 different cities around the globe. And as you can see here, last year we had a wide presence in terms of people utilizing their devices to join our conferencing sessions in order to communicate and collaborate. So our experience in this space becomes an important factor when we talk about the value that we can add to the Skype for Business investment. So let's talk now about Skype for Business. Obviously, Microsoft, with its acquisition of Skype, has been very successful in leveraging the Skype brand. Simply relabeling links, Skype for Business. I think some of us were wondering how that would pan out with Skype having the consumer connotation that it did. But I'd venture to say it's panned out quite well for them because of the market and awareness and presence of Skype. So as you can see, they have been very successful in several years at penetrating the marketplace. And obviously we know that Microsoft is definitely very friendly with the technology decision makers in organizations from the CIO on down. And so it was a very shrewd branding strategy, in my opinion, on their part. So with more than 140 million licensed users on Skype for Business, Microsoft is becoming the dominant force in enterprise communications. Skype for Business adoption continues to accelerate due to a number of drivers, including the tactical benefits of unified communications, as well as attributes specific to the Microsoft platform. More importantly, while Microsoft continues to boast a large installed base of its users on its premise-based software, adoption of Skype for Business is solidifying the cloud, and Office 365 commercial license sales have reached a monthly active user count of 100 million users. However, not all users are getting as much as they could out of the platform or as their employers want them to. Return on investment calculations are based on optimal usage patterns, and when they don't pan out, once promising ROI benefits can quickly become liabilities to business processes, productivity, and the bottom line. PGI recently partnered with Frost & Sullivan on a white paper to take a look at some of the patterns of adoption of Skype for Business and some of the challenges or gaps as well. Many of the pain points that you see identified here in this chart just result in lower adoption by users and therefore the impact on the ROI. So working with partners allows Microsoft to maximize their core competency in the software development and improve the end user experience. For example, Microsoft has long partnered with service providers to include the audio conferencing service that exceeded their ability to deliver a consistently good quality audio experience. So let's take a look at some of the simple but effective enhancements to the Skype for Business experience. Let's start with the most basic element of a meeting, and that is audio conferencing. You know, we like to say that audio is king, or audio is at the core of any business meeting. There are additional challenges which we'll talk about, but let's focus in on the audio component. What we've done at PGI as the first audio conferencing provider authorized by Microsoft to provide audio integration, PSTN integration with Link Online. We've one of the few companies around the globe that have been authorized to do that, and again, we were the first. So we are able to integrate a global meet audio conferencing, which, as I mentioned earlier, is at the core of everything we do, and it's our legacy business, which we have the most experience with. That's integrated with Skype for Business in the cloud. And it results in the ability to have participants in a Skype for meeting join from their desktop using voice over IP if that's their preference and that's what's more comfortable for them. If they're equipped with headphones and bandwidth in order to have a good audio experience using Skype audio, or they can participate over PSTN. And that, again, can be driven by a number of different factors as to why they would want to do that. They may not be comfortable using VoIP. They may not have headsets, which are definitely a recommended best practice when using VoIP. Their organizations may not have the bandwidth in order to be able to deliver the quality of service for a good audio experience. One of the most common concerns that I hear about Skype deployments is the quality of the audio. And many times that is simply driven by the bandwidth within the organization. They may be mobile, which is, a lot of people are joining these conferences via mobile device. So there's a wide variety of why they would want to be using a PSTN connection. And so what this solution does is it allows for a hybrid audio experience by integrating Global Meet Audio in the cloud with Skype for Business and presenting it really transparently to both the host and the participants on the meeting. Integrating traditional dial tone that can be leveraged by anyone to join the meeting is a very simple way to enhance Skype for Business. This helps with adoption, removes barrier to entry, allows more productive meetings because people can hear each other. It increases user adoption and therefore improves ROI. The reality is that most people are comfortable with traditional audio and they look to it as the mainstay of any meeting. But even before people join the meeting in order to speak to each other on whatever method that they prefer is the question of how do we get people to the meeting? So again, for those of us that are working at our desktop and are engaged in a Skype chat, it is very easy to escalate that Skype chat session into a spontaneous web conference with video sharing, content sharing, screen sharing. But what about if you want to be able to leverage Skype in order to schedule a meeting and invite people both within your organization and external participants? What you're seeing here in this screenshot, as many of you may be familiar with, is the standard Skype for Business add-in to the Outlook calendar. It's very basic and functional. It provides you with the link that you need to join the Skype for Business meeting, the local phone numbers, and pretty much that's it. So it does get the job done, but it probably could be enhanced in order to increase participation. And again, that is another area in which we can add some value. So this is an example of what's possible with a customized Skype for Business invitation. In the spirit of user adoption, calling out specific numbers, especially if your customers or your participants are outside the US, providing invitees with the one-click mobile dialing number that makes it very easy to join increases your ROI and your adoption. And so that is what you see here in this example. Selected numbers based on the audience that you are inviting, and a one-click link for mobile users who are reading their email invitations on their mobile device. Here's an example. A travel company. Their work is related to travel that increases dramatically during the summer. And so having the mobile one-click relieves the worry of joining while on the road. Also, it allows for branding, which is very important, and more companies are looking for ways to represent their brand to both internal and external participants. So by expanding the native calendar invitation to include better information and branding, that example was key to a manufacturing company, for example, with multiple locations and employees and suppliers that need to join meetings while on the go. So this is, again, another example of where Microsoft can increase its customers' utilization and adoption of Skype for Business by partnering with the company who specializes in Skype communications. And one of the things that they thought about, based on customer demand or customer feedback, was a way to improve upon the basic invitation. And so that is what you are seeing here in this example of custom invite. Okay, we also talked about ways of making it easy for mobile participants to join the meeting. And the one-click button on the invitation is certainly a step in that direction and improvement. But I'm sure that all of you in this room are very dependent on your smartphone. I know with the impending tropical storm here in Atlanta, I had to explain to my millennial children that loss of power could impact so much more than their mobile phones, but I was getting that glazed look because I know that that's all they really care about. So these devices have clearly lived the way we communicate, the way we work, and even the way we live. And we've become very dependent on them, and they really are kind of an extension of our hands. Would it surprise you to know that 83% of conferencing participants join via their mobile phones? So what we've done is we've created a solution which works not only for Skype for Business, but for all types of collaboration sessions and, frankly, all types of meetings that you may have throughout the day. We call it Agenda, and it does integrate very easily with Skype for Business, like I said, as well as other conferencing platforms. So the solution is conferencing platform agnostic. It's an iOS and Android app that provides your day's events in one interface on your mobile phone. It scrapes all of the calendars that you have. It allows you to input your conferencing credentials so that you can easily host meetings directly from the mobile apps on your mobile device, but from this one interface. So you don't need to go to those different apps and open them up. You can do that directly from within this interface. So we have a large customer that is a recruitment company, and they use Skype for Business for both internal and external meetings, but they have a wide variety of customers that use other conferencing platforms. Providing the ability to not only see their day at a glance, but to join any meeting with the click of one button has been a huge time saver for them. And while the app is convenient in terms of joining any meeting, it's highly functional and productive with GPS turn-by-turn directions, LinkedIn integration, and a communication tool on the go. How would you like it if upon the conclusion of a Skype for Business meeting, this app presented you with the ability to send a thank you email to all participants or a follow-up email, again, just at the touch of a button? Wouldn't that make you more productive and increase your flexibility and your mobility. This particular customer also leverages the customized branding to communicate everything from big wins to upcoming company events. So in this screenshot example, you see the weather being given, but the screenshot example, that's the one on the right, the one on the left. I know it may be small or hard to read, but it is an example of an internal corporate announcement that's being flashed, scrolled, if you will, across the top of the Agenda app. So any company with a highly mobile workforce can use this to get real-time information out. And, it just leverages the fact or recognizes the fact that we're all not sitting in front of our computers, but we're mobile and we need to get information and be productive any way we can. So in conclusion, what we have been able to show you here today are 3 examples of how you can leverage the partnership with ARG and PGI in conjunction with Microsoft to increase your utilization of Skype for Business. We've got the world-class and global PSTN audio conferencing integration, custom invites to enhance the participation of the people that you invite to the meeting, and the Agenda application to make you more productive while you're on the go, including leveraging your Skype for Business mobile app and joining those meetings from your mobile device. So in conclusion, I would encourage you to go out to the Play Store or the App Store and look for Agenda. There are free versions as well as, of course, we do offer an enterprise version. But you certainly can get a lot of utility out of the free version, and I would encourage you to try that now, and the PGI representatives can be there to help you. And I'm sorry that we in Solutions Engineering cannot be there in person, but we appreciate this opportunity to leverage the technology in order to deliver this presentation. Again, thank you for your interest, and go Braves.